Baroness seems to have a special personality. I better not bother her until I find her purse. The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it. I'm at a loss without a key or a proper tool. The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. This is the steward's own little kingdom. But as long as he's not around, he won't be upset if I take a look. This is the steward's own... But as long... I scraped a small amount of graphite off the pencil lead. The powder is very fine, practically dust. Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of two priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion. Constable Robert Oliver from Scotland Yard. He was there when the first eye was stolen. Now he's guarding the second one. need the right key or a proper tool to get the door open. Matt doesn't really seem to be content. The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's Trev. One can only hope that his... I don't know what more to ask. He hasn't noticed anything suspicious. We Swiss are crazy about trains. We don't just... I have no reason to bother the violinist. He can stay in the stuffy air if he prefers. The train covers a distance of more than 3,000 kilometers and stops at a dozen places. In many cities, come on, Matt. Did you really think that you can ignore me for longer than I can ignore you? I'm Swiss. It's practically a national sport. Matt is digging in his heels. I won't get anything out of him as long as he's angry with me. Matt is digging in his heels. I won't get anything out of him as long as he's angry with me. First, I'd better see about getting the door open. And then, it doesn't seem like I'll get anything out of him as long as the Baroness seems to have... I better not bother. There are thousands of things, but nothing would justify neglecting my duties here. I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her in front of Lady Westmacott. She seems to take it as an... although she's just knitting. Taking up a craft like that is typical of women who were told as little girls that idleness is a sin. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
Constable Robert Oliver. Is it possible that I read your name in the newspaper?
Ah, could be, sir. Could very well be.
Robert was there when the first eye of the Sphinx was stolen.
Why were you in the museum? Did you spot something from outside?
Well, sir, I noticed that a door was ajar, which was suspicious, and it was my duty to investigate, sir.
Scotland Yard gave him a commendation and assigned him to me as a liaison.
A great honor, sir.
I'll get back to work now.
Good.
The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key. The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be... I bought it last week at a flea market. I like it because I suppose the previous owner bought himself a newer one. The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able... Pills for my heart. I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter insisted that I take that with me. She was strongly against this little adventure, but I wasn't about to change my mind. I won't eat any just now. It would be rather embarrassing if I met the wooden toothpicks are packed into small paper wrappers. Nothing unusual. An autograph from Clara. That's not something that happens every day. She's... The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without it. Inspector Legrand was quite clear. I'm only to enter the freight car if there's news to report. This is the steward's own little kink, but as long as he's not around. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. This is the steward's own, but as long as he's not around. Shortwave radio. There could be many reasons for the violinist's shaking hand. My money's... The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and one can only... Matt is digging in his heels. I won't get anything out of him as long as he's angry with me. I have no reason. We Swiss are crazy about... We don't just... I won't eat any just now. It would be rather Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Hey!
Friends again?
Mm-hmm.
All right then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Your mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you need to pay for friends. But the lady's really okay. A bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
You and your mother, do you both live on Lady Westmacott's estate?
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at boarding school.
I imagine that's not very pleasant.
No, it's It's fine. I have friends there. You always have to be so quiet in the ladies' house, and I'm not allowed to bring any friends.
Such a big house with so many places to hide, and no one to play hide and seek with.
You said it.
And how long has your mother worked for the lady?
2 years.
And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him, and hunting. He even let me shoot a real gun.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him, and he left. I was 7.
Oh, and how old are you now?
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you already know what you want to be when you grow up? A burglar?
No, we'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, I don't know. You need a lot of talent for that. I'm an actor in a theater group, you know?
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in our group, if I may say so. I get really deep into my roles, you know? I don't just talk like the character. I think like him. I become him. It's the only way to... Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things to be an actor.
That wasn't bad. Disturbing, but not bad. The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her purse. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever?
Hmm?
That guy over there with the violin case?
What about him?
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure that nobody saw him.
You saw him.
Uh-huh.
Did you also see what it was?
Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been the Baroness's purse.
I should look into it, shouldn't I?
I think so.
Tell me, have you seen the steward anywhere?
No. He was walking around a little while ago, though.
Hopefully they didn't forget him in Zurich.
What's he supposed to do?
I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like the Raven?
Perhaps. But I'd need a piece of wire or something like that.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins. She doesn't like the wind messing up her hair.
Thanks for the tip. So long.
So longer.
The violin case looks pretty old, but that doesn't say anything about the quality of the violin. The best violins are often in the oldest cases. Excuse me, sir. About the purse.
Ah, yes? Has it been found?
Someone saw you with your violin case on the platform in Zurich.
What's the meaning of this? I didn't steal anything.
Nobody said you did. I just wanted to ask you whether you might have noticed anything on the platform.
Ah, well,
Why did you think I was accusing you?
I thought, because you mentioned my violin case in the context of the purse.
Apropos, may I have a look at your violin? It must be a very extraordinary piece.
Oh, that's not possible. It's a genuine Guarneri.
Very valuable.
Very, and also very sensitive.
What could harm it here? Light? Air? May I ask you to open the violin case?
No, you may not. I'm not guilty of anything.
I'm afraid I have to insist.
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant. I will not stand back and let you rifle through my belongings.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
I think the violinist is hiding something. But to be sure that Matt was right, I have to get a look in the violin case. How can I do that without the violinist's consent? Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be a big help.
Well, if you really need one.
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Oops, that was easier than expected. Batteries, a toothbrush, a shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might still be useful. I'd better let him read his newspaper. The box is secured with a padlock. That's it. There we go. This should help. Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Thank you for your hairpin, Mrs. Miller. It really got me out of a jam.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. And thank you for bringing it back to me. Not everybody would have.
I'm a Swiss policeman, madam. I couldn't do otherwise. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
I bet I could really get a grip on the bolt with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah,
Are you okay?
yes, fine.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibrations caused the lock to lock itself.
You can't possibly believe that.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where have they gone?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor. So, what are you hiding in your bag? What do you have that would be worth stealing?
No, nothing.
No valuables?
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment on a luxury train.
That's my business.
You're playing a dangerous game, Professor Lucien. I'd like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone? Wow, you have a very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
if you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3,000 years, you'd have received a gift like that as well.
The Bible, Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick, and gin, whiskey, and rum. All classics. No, nothing interesting. I really wonder what the professor is hiding from me, but I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent citizens. This is the 60s. Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well, good.
What's this?
What do you have there?
It's a button. From a suit or a uniform, I guess.
The burglar might have lost it.
Maybe, or maybe not. If I notice anyone with a missing button on his jacket, I'll ask him about it. But I wouldn't get my hopes up. If there was a burglar, he climbed out the window and jumped off the train. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye.
The Baroness seems to have... I better not bother.
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago. I think it's although she's just knitting. There are thousands of but nothing. I'd better let it... Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
I got Professor Lucien into his compartment using a pair of pliers.
Did you notice anything inside the compartment?
The window was open. Someone could have climbed out.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously. He rummaged around in his leather bag.
And?
He seemed to have found what he was searching for.
Good. Good work.
Now, perhaps you could give me some information.
All right. We should...
What? The light's gone out.
Flashlights! Ah! Get off me!
There, sir. An envelope.
My dear Nico, you should take a closer look at the box. R.
What the dickens? It's a...
Away with it! Take cover!
Oh dear. Oh. Is everyone all right? Are you hurt? Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
think the tunnel collapsed.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde! Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the freight car. You understand?
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel. We'll check each one in turn as they go out.
Let's get to it. The wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible to pull the car out of the rubble, you wouldn't get far with it. The inspector's trap failed. The thief must have got wind of it. Worse than that, he turned the tables. To win a game of cat and mouse, you have to know who is the cat and who is the mouse. It's still quite warm and too warped to open. Hello? I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing. Pills for my heart. I'm supposed to take... I can feel cold metal and a screw thread and a lot of grease, but I can't do more without light. A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall. My God, what a fire. I hope Constable Oliver can at least reach the engine. Carling Black Label, a British beer. No good. Insufficient alcohol content. For practical purposes, I mean, not for drinking. Whiskey, scotch, rum, liqueurs. Enough to entertain everyone on the train all the way from Paris to Istanbul. High-proof rum. Could be useful. Champagne, the finest. Maybe we'll open a bottle if we get out of the tunnel alive. Until then, though, it's no use to me. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. I filled the bowl about a third of the way with rum. Phew, strong stuff. I filled the... Phew, strong stuff. Pills for my heart. I'm supposed to take... I filled the bowl... Phew, strong stuff.
Pardon me. I did not mean to scare you.
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters that exploded.
If Inspector Legrand says so, it must be so, right?
I have been to war, and this was no minor explosion. I rather doubt that the freight car was packed to the roof with gas canisters.
The investigations are ongoing, but first we have to get the burning train out of the tunnel.
Of course.
How are the passengers?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust, everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Doctor? Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks. I'll meet you outside.
Do hurry.
I don't see Legrand or the constable, but I can make out the silhouettes of some of the passengers. All the same, the fire is getting bigger. The fire is sucking the oxygen out of the tunnel and filling it with poisonous carbon monoxide. Here in the Alps there have been dozens of catastrophes in tunnels that ended with death by asphyxiation. But not on my watch. I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. I suppose that the railway company had to comply with safety regulations at the cost of aesthetics. It'd be useless against the fire out there, and it's too cumbersome to carry around. At best, I can use it here. All right, let's go. I filled the bowl about... Phew. There's a pretty intense draft here. The fire is sucking up the oxygen. Some matches, and half of the book to get the flame going. Rum from Austria, believe it or not. That should do it. The material won't be able to rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol, but the curtain is wrapped around the wood and doused in alcohol. I should be able to light the torch whenever I want. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. The curtain is wrapped around the wood and doused. I filled the bowl about a third of the way. Phew, strong stuff. Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame. The alcohol on the curtain burns just as darkly as in the bowl. It's no help. It's taking too long. Time is running out. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. Rum from Austria. That should do it. Can't really say the fabric was eager to soak up the rum. I, on the other hand, soaked up enough in my fingers to smell like a drunk. The flame is hot. The alcohol on the curtains would burn just as dimly as in the bowl. I can feel cold, but I can't do more. Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain. can feel, but I can't do... There's a noticeable drip. The lad... I'm sure I can uncouple the car if I only had enough light. I'm the god of fire. That's better now. Incredibly basic mechanism. Won't budge. Too much tension on the coupling. A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread. Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay. Good. The coupling isn't under tension anymore. I should be able to uncouple it now. There we go. Time to get out of here.
Listen, everybody! Listen! Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You too. Listen, please.
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure...
Help!
Matty! No!
Matt, where are you?